Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Kaiserreich. We're playing as the Indian Federation, and we're planning to go to war with the one remaining faction, the Entente. Once we have done that, that will be the end of the game. The question is, who do you want to declare war against? United States? Probably. Could do that. Madagascar has a very bad opinion of us. Why? So, that's really random. Anyways. Also, inexplicably, we own the Galapagos Islands. What? Why do we own the Galapagos Islands? That's so weird. Anyways, I think, yeah, we are going to plan to go to war with the USA. I actually kind of want to wait another episode before I start prepping for that. Just to prepare my stuff. Ooh, what's this do? It won't need to go to fort to get refueled. Oh. Well, that's interesting. I didn't know that was a button you needed to press. Convoys needed. Okay, so you need like a lot of convoys. How many convoys? Okay, never mind. I was like, yeah, the number of convoys can't be that big. Boy, it sure is. You need literally tens of thousands of them. Okay, never mind. Maybe I use that for these guys. Yeah. If you use it for these guys, the amount of convoys they need is like 200 per, which is truly monumental amount of convoys, but you know, still it increases their range pretty considerably. Huh. Let me think about this. It doesn't even increase their range that much. Also, I have a bunch of naval bases. What if I be like, your naval base is now here? Doesn't matter. Either way, I also figured out the answer is pretty obvious to this. If you want to know, hey, how do you add air wings like this? You add them like this. Yeah, that's how you add them. There's like a button you can press. You could go there. And then I am out of complete stuff. What the heck are you doing? Go back. Yeah, so figuring out range for those guys, I think it's contingent on... I wish there were an easy way to sort this. There does not seem to be an easy way to sort this. Yeah, because I can, like, divide them easily enough. But there's no, like, sort by range type situation. No, you should go here. You 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 go here. here. Your entire thing should be there. And then you can be like that. Okay. Very cool. Alright. My plan, of course, is to fight the Entente. The best way to do that. In order to do anything, like, this is just, everything else is a sideshow. My real thing I have to do is invade North America. And then once I can do that, we're all in a good spot. In order to invade North America, I need to build up Greenland. And in order to do that, I need to build a bunch of supply stuff on Greenland. Like, there's really not much to be said for it. So, yeah, actually I have to make, like, that is going to be the real limiter here. Is, can I successfully build up a bunch of supply bases on Greenland? The answer is eventually, yes. Policies. I feel like stable gunnery platform is probably good. Is the whole point of this is, I mean, great seakeeping is also probably good. I don't know what the weather penalties are, but I do know that I don't pay attention to weather. So it's probably good for me to just get the weather penalty thing, with the understanding that it will occasionally matter. I would also like to get to the point where I have, you know, I would like to get to 1952, because then we would have those boats, but also I don't think we're going to get to 1952, so we're not going to get those boats. One of those, you know, it is what it is type situations. Here's my question. Can I change these guys over to infantry? I do not have any. Right, I need to make super heavy howitzers. Just regular ones. Probably like a whole bunch, too. Let's see. What else? What can I cut? Not a ton of things. You two can just be on conversion mode. I don't think we necessarily need more support equipment. I mean, there was a problem before, but I don't know if it's still a problem. We do need to do mechanized equipment. Yeah, so I'll just do you. And we'll have to go with 4 lines. That is what it is. Part of the reason why I want to build up a bunch of military factories, because obviously I don't have enough military factories. Standard tension. All right. What? So stream has been improved. Convoy usage has been reduced by 20%, which is not necessarily enough to have any impact whatsoever. Let's see. Once we get to... once we produce all of these, I wonder if I can build any more... we haven't finished researching nukes yet. There we go. Can I build more? Looks like the answer is no. Oh well, it is what it is. Advanced rocket artillery. Okay. Let's improve our medium airframes. We're going to launch a nuke. We can get floating fortress. Whatever, sure. How close are we to getting a modern large airframe? I might make a nuclear bomber, like a dedicated nuke bomber. Curious about photo reconnaissance. Whether that would be useful at all, I suspect the answer is no. Portugal declared war on Nyasaland. Which one is that? Nyasaland is, yeah, alright. Can I send volunteers? I can send one. I don't have any special bonuses to volunteers. I don't think I'm going to bother. If Portugal wants to fight Nyasaland, go for it. I don't care. Stronghold network. And maybe we'll want a land cruiser at some point. Lots of options here. Modern battleships, nuclear submarines. Do I want to get nuclear submarines? I'm not going to have time to use them. Air-independent propulsion might be usable at some point. Sure, air-independent propulsion then. Yeah, we haven't finished nukes yet. We're pretty close to finishing helicopters, which is nice. Which means maybe we want to do some division template fiddling to produce, like, better helicopters. Or to produce better divisions that could be supported by helicopters. That does seem like a thing that's plausible. Modern large airframe. Let's check here. Get armored maintenance company or armored signal company. Sure, armored signal company. Why not? Oh, yeah. Right. Paratroopers is the only trait I can get here. Yeah. And I'm not... This guy isn't commanding paratroopers, so it doesn't do anything. Right. This extremely funny bug. One moment. We have finished heli choppers. That's good. Do we want to try to get anything else? Intercontinental bomber, supersonic jet. Right. We want supersonic jets. And this is the guy to produce it. This is also why I want to kind of sandbag finalizing this. Alright, Nyasaland has been defeated. No surprises there. Right. We have helicopter stuff, so getting a helicopter transport company might be good. Maybe the thing we're going to try to do is send all of our railway guns here. Why are they teleporting? Oh, what the heck? At some point, I activated... Huh, that's weird. Oh, I remember. I saw a bunch of... I'm like, why are my guys teleporting? So, let me explain to you what I will sometimes do. If I see... If I see, like... If I see units that are exiled, that are just sitting around, controlled by an enemy, or like by another... By like the whatever, by another country, I will tag switch to that country and teleport them back to like their capital. And I noticed that happened with the I noticed that happened with the Canadians and the Americans. So but I never, you see, I switched over to a bunch of countries to be like, hey, what's going on there? I never disabled my teleport tool. And it hasn't mattered because I haven't been at war, so I haven't noticed. Great. These guys are going to pathfind back here. What is happening? Alright. You get in a boat and sail to Madras. Great. Great. Everyone is coming back home. Sometimes they had to cheat to do that, but whoopsie-doopsie. It happens. In case you're wondering, I am basically only doing that to buff the AI. Because I'm like, oh, I'm about to win. I want to see if I can make them a little bit better. So something else I did is I'm like, oh, build up your infrastructure to get some more resources. Like, take this focus instead of just sitting around doing nothing. Because the AI is not super bright. Whoa. Doesn't really know how to handle stuff like that. You go here. You can be a brighter color. You could be green. Be a darker green. You can get a commander. Any fun commanders? Actually, you are engineer, so I'll consider trading you out. You are a trickster guerrilla fighter. Yeah. So Mr. Engineer Scavenger is a good choice. There we go. That'll do. We now have a bunch of armored divisions, mechanized divisions, that are well equipped to break through enemy lines. Signal company, photo reconnaissance, motorized rocket artillery. Why the heck not? Maintenance company. Oh, nope. Yeah. I should instead get a helicopter recon company. So once we get these helicopter companies, we can maybe consider messing around with some of the mechanics here. Oh, better aircraft. Let's see, what are we working on in terms of what are our missions again? We got supersonic jets. Did we finish our modern? We did. Okay. So since we have so much air XP, Modern large airframe. Big old jet engine. We literally don't have anything we can use for this. We have strategic bomber weapons and torpedo mountings. Man, I don't know. Bomber. We want to increase the air defense. Bomb sights, radio navigation. Radio navigation. Extra fuel tanks. Extra fuel tanks. Armor plates. Armor plates. Not great agility. Good air defense. Mediocre strategic bombing. But the purpose of these things would be they're nuclear bombers, right? They're meant to deploy a nuclear payload. Either way, that's what I've got. I'll make one of those. I believe I have 6 divisions left I can play with. Do I want to do anything with that? I'm really not sure. I really don't know. I'll leave it for now. I don't think it really matters. There we go. We're producing more and more military factories. And demanding more and more resources, of course. Yeah, I believe our plan will be to just ignore every other front and just launch a full-scale invasion, probably of Canada. We'll see, maybe, I don't know. Get our final revenge on the British. Vengeance on the British. We're producing carrier airframes fairly well. Do we have anyone who needs a better carrier airframe stuff going on? Everyone should recombine in the Princely Navy. That should make my logistics a little bit easier to resolve. There's improved medium airframe, whatever. Good advanced. Nope. Okay. Thought we did have, there we go. There's some contexts in which we can boot out some more naval bombers. Any other contexts? 40, 80. Looks like we're good. Alright. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to do naval exercises with these guys. Because I can. Ha ha ha. I would like nuclear submarines, yeah. I don't think we're gonna complete that, but that's fine. Just keep schmoving on. Prototype bomb! Test it under controlled forms. Put it to use. Yeah, we're going to test it under controlled forms. Because getting an additional nuke, you're getting one nuke at this point, not actually that useful. The thing we want is, like, you know, the ability to produce a whole bunch because we have a zillion civilian factories. Or so zillion civilian nuclear reactors. We can actually get reasonable capacity to deploy nuclear weapons. And I would love to actually use nukes, something I haven't really gotten to do since Goddard Maroon came out because they made it a lot harder, which, you know, good. I think it shouldn't be trivial to deploy nuclear weapons. But, you know, at the same time, like, I want to use my shiny toys. This is a game about war, and I like doing wars. We have a bunch of super heavy howitzers that have been produced. If we do you guys, or if we just click here, modern infantry just switches over to infantry. We have the super heavy howitzers to support it. So, let's do that. Right. Do we have that over here? We do not have the super heavy howitzers to support it. I mean, I might just do it anyway, knowing that I will eventually get enough. That seems fine. Oop. Prototype decision for the air-independent propulsion. Faster engines, quieter engines, less fuel-consuming engines. These are going to be faster or quieter. Dude, I don't know. I kind of like the idea of quieter. Like, having no visibility is kind of really cool for submarines. Armored Signal Company. Helimedevac. Go. Motorized rocket artillery. Armored maintenance. Go. This is going to be another longer one because it's going to be a lot of waiting and screwing around with logistics. Yeah, so there's helicopter transport. The thing that I want to check now is, do I want to get logistics company versus a helicopter transport company? I have even less supply usage. Helicopter transports versus logistics companies. Helicopter transports give me minus 20 defense total, but additional breakthrough, which I think at this point I prefer. No major change, but the thing that I'm reducing is supply use. So helicopter transports. And then the final question is, do we have helicopters? Yeah, we literally have so many helicopters that we stole. Alright. So we're transitioning over to helicopters. We have 14 million of them, apparently. Yeah. Let me just do that real quick. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Everything's fine. Yeah. I just want to be able to produce any helicopters. Portugal declared war in Angola. No, that's like baby Angola. Sure, why not? Yeah, I think knowing that, I think I'm going to transition to helicopter transports for everyone. Yeah, it gives me less defense, more fuel use, less supply use. Yep, that's worth it. The reduction in supply use, in particular, very strong. Um, yeah. Any context in which supply use is reduced is a good one. I might just also transition over to cav spam maxed out on the MPs. Because that increases my suppression to 80. Yeah. Cool. I don't know if that's relevant anywhere. Might be in, like, Gibraltar or whatever, but once we start taking territory, it will be much more relevant. Alright. More carrier battle groups. My carriers shall blot out the sun. I'm producing like 5 of these every week. Excellent. Cost concerns. Costs do not matter. Costs do not matter. Give me more agility in air defense. Give us the 5th generation fighter jets, even if they cost $8 bazillion to produce. Helicopter recon companies. Alright, we're gonna... This doesn't do anything. It doesn't matter what I choose. Sure, signal companies. Whatever. The thing I am going to do now is I'm going to check recon. Motor recon versus heli recon. Heli recon is just basically strictly better in every way. It adds a little bit of supply use, but it also just improves everything generally. Port versus motor recon is recon. Heli recon versus moto recon. Oh, heli recon produces the same benefits. Nice. Yeah, absolutely. We're going to do heli recon, the motorized division. For the Rangers, we'll consider. This might be a more subtle choice. Yeah, I still think it's an improvement. I don't know if it is. I actually don't think it's an improvement. For the Mountaineers, I think the Mountaineers specifically should keep the Rangers. Can I get... Yeah, I think the Mountaineers are in a pretty good spot in that regard. Engineers. Pioneers are worse. Assault engineers might be interesting. Because they produce... Well, they technically reduce my attack. They add more breakthrough. Are assault engineers like the thing I want here? Do I have the supply to do that? I do. It's an interesting choice. It technically reduces my soft attack. It significantly reduces my defense. But it gives me 13 breakthrough. And the way that breakthrough works is... breakthrough is your thing you use before that. It increases my armor, reduces my piercing. Doesn't change supply use. Makes me significantly worse at entrenchment. I am interested to see what that is. I like the... I'm in the sort of end game going with a more aggressive build. Yeah, we're gonna go with... How many Rangers and Pioneers? Instead of Rangers, do we want to go helicopter recon? Yes, I think we do. Rangers are good for the thing that we're doing, but other than that, yes, we're gonna do heli recon. That's fine. Alright, Mechanized Division. What do we have for... Do we even have recon? We've motorized recon. We have motorized recon instead of motorized recon. We want to go with helicopter recon. It's basically a straight upgrade. Yes, we're going to go with that. Similarly, we have infantry. Literally, it's Rangers that we have for recon. Would helicopter recon be better? Not sure that it will be. No, it will not be. I'm actually fine with sticking with Rangers for my infantry. I think that's okay. Helo recon is being used in the context in which it makes sense to use helicopter recon. I think helicopter medevac is probably just strictly better than medevacs. Than medical. Yeah. Alright. There we go. Modern carriers. Nuclear engine. Yeah, and we get this for free. Because we're designing it for the first time. Do I want deck armor? No, I want hangar space. We're gonna historical carriers. Look at that. Oh, so swaggy. Surface detection doesn't matter, but like it's free. Basically. Radar is free. Range is huge. Fuel use is low. Don't remember that. Okay. Either way, the only question I would ask is, do I want to replace with deck armor? No. No, I don't care about that. I think that this is going to be our final answer to the carrier situation. And it has a deck size of 130, which is humongous. Let's go with modern carriers. We're going to make a bunch of these. We're going to make 4 modern carriers. Alright. And that is going to cost us... We need to get a lot more iron for that. Steel. That's fine. And those carriers were completed in January 53! I don't know if we're going to wait that long. I would love to, but we got a fission bomb. Don't quite have intercontinental bombers yet. Thermonuclear bomb will be the next thing we want. And ladies and gentlemen, 16 days to get a nuclear warhead. That's nuclear bomb. That's pretty sweet. Pretty swaggy. Oh, unfortunately, I don't know if we're going to get to use nearly any of our toys because we're practically done in Greenland by this point. Right? Like, we are practically finished. We're having problems in Sumatra, of all places. Why? There. Nailed it. Problem solved. We need more chromium. Whatever. Sure. Why not? Wow! I forgot that they have a, there's like a Prussian, you know. Yeah, like they literally have, that's pretty funny. That there is a, that Prussia, the North German Federation, and South German Federation all have like little baby focus trees, which is pretty cool. That's neato. That's pretty awesome. Cool. I don't think East Prussia has that. No, they don't. I wouldn't expect them to. There button we can press. Rally public support. Seems like a good use of our time. Okay. So you are gonna go back here. You are gonna go here. You are gonna go here. And then you are gonna go here. And what I probably should do is enhance this to next level. Alright. We have big old fleets. 4 carriers each, except for 1, which is 3. Whatever. Don't worry about it. It's fine. These are going to be the fleets we probably go to war with. And this time, we are going to use them to try to sink the enemy navy. Are rocket sites even good? Oh yeah, here's something I should do. Build fortifications here. And then build, like, some support there. Anyways. I'll allow the Algerians to brawl with the Moroccans, as you do. Oh yeah, we can set the default composition. Okay, it's like literally exceeding that. That's really funny. Anyways, let's roll the union on. All right, Angola's been annexed. Rip Angola. I'm pretty happy with Super Belgium. Catalonia is not necessarily, in the Basque Country, not necessarily the most productive, though they do have enough industrial capacity to do something. Okay, we have gotten Hiddersheim motors to the point where we have to make decisions. More breakthrough, or mechanized and truck. I think that's like the right answer. More speed, more good. I think hardness is probably good to have for my vehicles. I assume that that is the case. Alright. We're good on super heavy howitzers. We can go down to 1 line each. The jet bombers. And the heli choppers. I'll move heli choppers to, yeah, right here. Perfect. Helicopter medevac. That brings us to, I think, the last thing we're going to be doing that's fancy. Is probably changing over to helicopter medevac. We're going to do basic heavy tanks. Nothing more to be learned there. We do heavy tank designer. So let us go to our division templates. Motorized or mechanized division. Field hospital. I assume helicopter medevac is just... Oh, it's actually worse. Really? Interesting. I'd assumed it would be better. It's like strictly worse. That's so interesting to me. Huh. Neat. Okay, well, I think that's probably because we have a specific thing associated with, like, the medical stuff. Alright, let's... Nuclear strikes. Strategic bombers carrying nuclear weapons. Let us see if we can deploy strat bomber carrying nuclear weapon. There we go. Let's say we want to bomb... Oh, I literally need 10 strategic bombers on station. I don't have enough. Convoy escorts, which is sub-operations. We're going to do sub-operations. Go. Not into research here. We're running out of stuff to research. As is our way. Alright, we now can raid. Alright, we have enough bombers available. Alright. We can launch nuclear strikes! What do we want to nuke? Is the question. that we're all asking. Now the question is, where do we want to land? The other question is, if I move... Actually, hold on. Let me increase the decrease here real quick. Alright. I don't know. There are lots of places we can hit. I think we should probably try. But, yeah. I think we have delayed enough, however. We're going to have to bow to the reality of the situation and begin to prepare for the attack on the Entente, thereby bringing this game to a conclusion. How we plan to do that, we will see. There are several front lines that must obviously be open, but we're going to have to figure that out in the next episode. Goodbye.